Good morning, everyone. So, we have heard all of yesterday and today a lot of discussion about AI and how AI intersects with art, with design, with society, and culture. I think it's important for us to take a step back and start thinking about what AI actually represents. So my talk is perhaps going to be somewhat disappointing for some people because I'm going to be talking about not what AI can do, but what AI cannot do, what it can do. So in 1843, the scientist, poet, Ada Lovelace wrote in her notebooks about the analytical engine. The analytical engine was developed by Charles Babbage, an Englishman, who developed this idea of an early computer, which can be programmed. Ada Lovelace, who was a brilliant person in her own right at that time, she developed the first program, what is considered the first program for the analytical engine, the earliest computer. So when she was programming for this computer, she basically said, well, the analytical engine has got some limitations. So what are these? She says, the analytical engine has no pretensions whatever to originate anything, meaning it does not create anything original. It can do whatever we know how to order it to perform, meaning it is limited by what we tell us, what we tell the machine, what we can program, or what we can tell and instruct the machine to do. It can follow analysis. It has no power of anticipating any analytical relations or truths. Its province, its primary ability is to assist us in making available what we are already acquainted with, meaning the analytical engine is not able to generate anything original. It is able only to do, and it is limited by our own imaginations and our own instruction. So I want to talk a bit about what I see as limitations of AI. And part of this research is really for me to think about a larger exhibition I'm working on right now, bringing together artists who are thinking about the limitations of AI. So I want to quickly go through some of these with my limited time. Tacit knowledge. So AI is a cognitive apparatus. It is based on this idea that you can take human intelligence and you can replicate it in some way. Human knowledge and human ability to know. But it is based on this false idea that everything we know, we can actually instruct a machine to simulate. But language, our ability to say things that we know is limited. So there is a whole area of psychology that addresses something called tacit knowledge. Not everything we know, we can say. And if we cannot say it, then we cannot instruct the machine to do the things that we want it to do. And then another issue is the limit of datafication. So we rely, and any AI system relies on data being fed to it, training data that is given to it. But the world out there, reality, cannot be datafied. Not everything in the world can be converted into data. That will be a fundamental limitation for what any AI system that can be technologically developed would still be limited by datafication problem. Context blindness. Every AI system that is out there and can potentially be developed is based on a simple limitation of context blindness. An AI system cannot be sufficiently built and instructed to understand context. It will always be limited by its ability to understand the context within which it is operating. AI systems currently, most systems out there are based on what they call large language models. Large language models are what Jan LeCun, the chief information officer of Meta, recently called statistical imitation. So most AI systems, large language models, are able to repeat repeat something by a statistical method. It is a probability machine rather than a meaningful understanding of what is being said. AI has no body, meaning human intelligence is developed as a result of us having a body, being in the world, and sensing the world, and understanding and developing knowledge because we have a body. AI systems don't have a body, and they cannot develop the kind of knowledge that we have and the kind of intelligence that depends on our having a body. Lack of ethical reasoning. Most AI systems out there right now are struggling with the idea of how do you build an ethical barometer, an ethical way of acting. MIT has this moral machine research lab that is trying to look at autonomous cars becoming able to do ethical decisions while on the road. So there is a fundamental problem and limitation of how to train an AI system in the ethics that all of us developed based on the situations that we are dealing with. We cannot, in an anticipatory way, develop an AI system that would be able to be ethical. AI systems are still struggling with how to understand emotions. Human emotions are not figuring in our way of defining intelligence. Human intelligence is still seen as a cognitive capacity rather than as a capacity that is cognitive because it is tied to our emotions. We know the world because of our emotions, not in spite of it, not despite of it. So we cannot adequately think about any cognitive capacity being built in an AI system when it disregards emotions. AI systems are also very, very inefficient. Technologically, they are relying on a huge amount of energy. So for example, the human brain takes about 12 watts to think. That same action of thinking requires in the order of megawatts for an AI system to do. That's why we are desperately now, most AI companies are desperately building data centers to crunch all the numbers that they are developing. AI is always still, even today and for a long time to come, will depend on humans in the background. And that human in the background are underpaid people. So if you look at Mechanical Turk, which is run by Amazon, it is based on micro-labor of humans who are in the background doing all the data labeling that is required. Lastly, humans in the loop. AI systems still rely on humans being at the background in order to make discretionary decisions that cannot be sufficiently built into the system. And these are what I think about as fundamental limits. These are not technological problems that can be solved in the future. AI companies will tell you that they can be solved. If we have sufficient amount of time, sufficient amount of research, we will be able to solve these technologically. No, these are limitations that are fundamentally hardwired into how intelligence operates in humans, and therefore it cannot be sufficiently duplicated by AI. I want to show you this particular work by James Bridle. This is an autonomous car that cannot move anymore. Why can it not move? It is limited by the fact that it is following road signs, signs on the road. So it is you cannot move out of it. So this is James Bridle, an artist trying to point to you the fundamental problems of this. I will leave you lastly with this. The promises of AI are not real. It is promising you action without effort. You can act without effort. You can decide without thinking about it too much. And you can know without learning. And none of these things are possible. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm from the Graduate School of Advanced Imaging Science, Multimedia and Film, Jungang University, Sang-im Han. Here today, I want to give you an opportunity to think, rethinking noise, how the flaw of technical issues can be a material for creator and artist. Okay, when you look at this screen, you can see the beautiful scenery. Okay, when we're watching these types of scenery, we say, okay, wow, it looks like a painting. But many people, including me, thinking that, okay, now it looks like computer graphic. There are many expressions we use to describe these types of beautiful scenery or beautiful face. Okay, he looks like a David. I found out this is quite interesting expression. The image which is imitating reality. Now it is the standard to evaluate the value of image, which is transcend the reality. So we describe this one as a simulator. Images that feel more reality than reality. To give more practical explanation, 3D graphic software and game engine and artificial intelligence are used to generate images. If someone asks me what is the interesting point of these types of project, I would answer that I can create anything. The result has more reality than real, and I can imitate the reality perfectly. And in this world, you can use the Control plus G shortcut. You can redo anytime and so many times as much as you want, as many as you want, where anything can be remade. Okay, in a perfectly controlled environment, what can intentional glitches create? So I'm trying to use a 3D simulator to create some more fascinating images. The simulator is aiming to get physically and spatially perfect imitations, and when the thing is not going well, you can witnessing the difference of perfect and or not. These are the table, plate, and roses. And after finish this result, I want to distort the material of roses and the flowers, which is not allocated in the real life. So, in simulating the rose is falling. Okay, and this is quite different response, we imagine. So my project is about these types of image is imitating reality but transcend the reality. So in the perspective of the real physics, but this is not the real. But still, I think there's a value that unpredictable things made by these types of software or services has its own value, and I want to call it a noise. The term means that unnecessary signals or these turbulences that degrade system performance in its era. But I want to use this one with a different perspective as a creator. I want to use it a new material. For me, noise is when established order is disrupted, new sensory possibilities emerge. So I keep searching that how can errors become something beautiful? So the moment of failure can have aesthetic beauty. Ambiguities and fractures erased by technology itself. It can be the blind spot of the cognitive field. Well, for the technicians, the results are the failure, but for creator, the artist, like me, it has different meaning. The process of detecting and correcting the noise hidden by technology. In this day, the creation must need in need of artificial intelligence, so I use that too. But in that process, noise must be deleted in order to delete the feeding, to enhance the quality of the feeding. So deleting noise is essential part. But I think differently. The noise and some fractures of artificial intelligence brings my attention. And there is another creativity made by algorithm is arose, I think. So unlike the prompt engineering, I want to utilize the ambiguous prompt and fractures. And in the reality, there is an unable and impossible moment in real life. I want to use it as material for the new creations. You may witnessing some real and unexpected outcome, and that is the moment and point of my creation. These are the videos by the types of natures. You may think that that is very dreamy scenes by AI, but there's also counterpart and controversies of nature's law. So you can see that my intention was using the fractures against the natural law, the natural footprint. You see the left and right side, the LED screens is projecting these types of image and video. And I want to install these types of image into the real instrument to expand more horizons. Well, during this process, I intentionally creating noises. These are the only few types of my result. I used irregular prompt, but still there's some tipping point and limitations with the prompt and result where I meet the aesthetic beauty as a creator, and I believe this is a role of artist. So through this, the medium that unsettle perception, that enable new way of seeing. So that gives me a new question. What does it mean to be a creator? For a long time, creator control everything around the environment and create something new and derive something new from it. So, and when we collaborate with technology, that means we have to control every single part and medium, but that's not true. When we work with technology, you may find something unexpected a lot. That process attracts me a lot. So I believe creator is not the one who holds the total control, but censor the very delicate point of each fracture and each error, and try to choose what we notice, what we choose to leave behind, and the context we give to it. And that gives you the sovereignty for the creator. Greater creative freedom found in spaces we cannot fully control. I learned that from my experience. And when we look at noise differently, what new artistic possibility and new forms of creator can we imagine? When we see it differently, this era of technology can expand another level. Thank you for listening.
Hello, I am Kang Seung-pyo, who is the head of the Arts and Technology of the Korean School of Arts. The movie I showed you is it was the special prize winner and the opening of the special prize winning piece that I have submitted for the MBC AI Cinema event. And it is 9 minutes and 43 seconds, so I made it very short. So I showed you the opening only, and I'm going to explain to you some movie clips. So there are huge interest in AI, and the previous speakers mentioned AI, and within GArtience, and there is AI시네마 section. And there was a Shimun, which is the top prize winner of the MBC International AI Cinema Awards. So when I first created this film, began with a poem. Before production, I was asked to make the movie where could you write a lyric poem connecting the encounter between AI and humanity to the development of human history, art, and technology. So I asked, and the AI response was this. So can you write a poem that contains the AI born and memory and transformation remote and renewed. And this is AI's created poem. So it doesn't show a little bit, but there was a poem by CT5, and that's the title. And as you can learn, there is like birth, born, memory, rhythm, transformation, and new arts. And these are the ones that I have never mentioned. And I found fun in this and tried to write a scenario based on this. Okay, let me talk about this cinema, the movie itself. So these are the scenes from the movie. So technology has been there with arts, and technology has empowered us. And from the moment we hunted for mammoth, and during the Trojan War and during the Second World War, technology has made us advanced and influenced arts. And after this moment of survival, people through arts draw portraits on the stones, on the cave, and listen to the movie, and also had the memory and miss their family and home. And with the advancements of the technology, our sense or emotion changed. And we were able to find the point of vanishment during the Renaissance era. And that changed people's view. And one important artist, I believe, is worth to note is Velázquez. And Velázquez's work is adopted with AI and created this. And this is actual Velázquez painting. And I made AI to create the artwork based on this mirror image, and made the portrait, the painting move. I have to move fast. Okay, I have to speak a little bit fast. And there was a George Méliès, who is a magician, and he made a cinema and movie made with a camera technology. And through the media, we were able to broadcast and show the human landing on the moon and share this content with the world through media. So everyone can enjoy what's been taken and captured by camera. So technology helped arts to develop. And we can think of AI as one of the tools. While I was producing this movie, what I experienced is that AI is not just a tool. There has been a lot of mentioning on AI, but it was not a simple tool because I was talking to AI and asking AI and get a response, and we have this loop. It's like 1500 years ago, and like Socrates walking to me. So he has this talk. Through this talk, AI created something new. And through humans' perspective, the AI's chat is, and this is an aligned effect. Aligned effect is the different emotion only felt by AI, and this is related to the awareness of the Mr. Lee, what my previous mentioned, and as this is the Second World War, and please express the fear felt during the war, but the AI created this, and the collaboration with AI is completely different with my collaboration with Photoshop. And it was discovering something together, which wasn't the case like in Photoshop. AI is nobody. So AI doesn't have the body. So I tried to start this movie with a dance. And the left side movie is that I captured, and the middle I have created with AI, and this is the output of AI. I loved it. So I think this is related to AI effect, and also related to latent space, emotional pattern. As Kai's professor showed the example, BO3 and Romeo have different traits. AI app has a different latent space. So depending on that, they respond differently. And there are cinema movie makers, and BO3 is good at making slow movies. And Runway is good at creating something like human-like made movies. I think the role has to change accordingly. I majored in cinema, and also so I have been the roles of like controller, planner, and completioner. But the role has changed, and the role of artist become the curator and the dialogue holder. So how have we formed the emotion into a form? I'm not so knowledgeable of technology, but I know about and knowledgeable about arts. What I think is important is the how we have translated the emotion into shape. Okay, I don't have much time. I have to skip. Sorry. Okay, 30 seconds left. Okay, I'm getting nervous. I never had a butterfly in my stomach, but I have to take a deep breath before I wrap up. So there has been a little bit of skip. So the biggest worry we have in the age of AI is that AI is replacing arts and human being. I believe that technology, there are many theories, of course, but I think AI enables us to translate emotion and have a dialogue of talk emotion in different manners. And I think technology will become the language of emotion. Of course, and there has been limitations of AI, I agree. But what AI can do, it can be a new sense that expands the horizon of emotion. So technology is not efficiency, but the language of dialogue. Technology is not making new art. Once the heart beats and once the body moves, new art begins. That's my thought. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a professor, Yongju Lee, the architect from the Department of Architecture, Seoul National University of Science and Technology. And many of you think and present about the software aspect, but today I'm going to tell you something different. It's a scene from the movie Blade Runner in 1982. It's the Los Angeles in 2019. It's the movie Her, 2013. Well, this is types of near future that imagined in that movie. It was in LA too, but actually filmed in Shanghai. Now, this is the present of the Seoul metropolitan city. In the past, people think some types of urban city, but actually today's actual living is quite different. I don't think this is wrong, but I want to think that, okay, why we live these types of city today. So it's another apartment or mansions and the living complex in the near city, Seoul metropolitan city. The housing problem is not only for the Seoul, but we live in these types of cities. Why do we live these types of building in this residence? Well, there's some source of the building, the prototype. It's built in 1952. It was invented by a French architect, new types of apartment. The architect, I think he has imagined, okay, future people will live these types of building. But actually, after 100 years later, a country from the far east is types of the standard for daily living. The same architect built these types of building in 1931. You see the similar shape in architectural element. Well, the efficiency is the key why we choose these types of architect. The money, time, these are the factors that affect us to build these types of building. Some countries with rapid growing like us, efficiency is important. There are many elements we have to think about. the architect. You know, the building is quite a huge building. It requires the materials, budget, and efficiency is the key element for a bubble. Okay, so how much and how tall this is. And the number one priority for the building is efficiency. And also economic efficiency, cost efficiency is more, well, the one similar important factors. Why we use these types of material? Why do you use these types of layout? Are based on this cost efficiency decision. The K culture's outcome, the novel, movies, songs. But architecture, K architecture cannot be one of them, one of the K culture. Well, realty, the interiors. For Korean, okay, we are just discussing how to change the wall color. So I'm thinking that how can we achieve the diversification under these circumstances? Well, biomimicry is imitating the biological pattern and design motivated by such. So I made it this root bench in 2017. You can track the patterns from 0 to 100. The same algorithm result in these different types of and alter the types of branching courtyard 2024. Well, algorithm and codings are main job to doing these types of project. So we have a traditional modular joint system. So this is some sort of pavilion. And next, we can consider another option, 3D printing, using the sand and layering the architectural result. It's called Wave Pavilion in Incheon. Okay, you may find more details. Well, the water drops came to my mind. The robotics and 3D printers are used broadly to result these types of instrument. Okay, I've been thinking that how can I join this one into the biological factor? So bio-integrated is just above that, not just mimicking its appearance, but want to coordinate with it. So when we talk about organism, we can also derive some concepts from these types of the phrase. So the waste, the industrial waste create the most pollutions. So we collect the styrofoam and using this type, some sort of the worm to eat them and decomposition. Well, material is quite a sensitive factor to choose. Many people says this looks like styrofoam, but actually it's a mushroom. On the right upper side, you can see a picture, and this is a composition material fabrication process. In some certain temperature, certain environment, simulate to grow some sort of the mold and mushrooms, and it's 5 times harder than styrofoam. The left side, you can see how it grows. And this is mycelium house. Well, why I'm covering these types of project that leads to the artificial intelligence, well, I got some client to build capsule types of hotel. Well, when we building these types of buildings, we inspire from environment and build one. And this is the Hotel Myeongdong station. It's near the subway station. But as I mentioned earlier, I want to use more than just sketch tool, so I can get inspirations. Well, I want to transform the 2D from the AI result into the another 3D form. This is some part of the Hano Korean traditional house, and layer the 2D types of image. And in the result, we create these types of instrument. Well, the architecture has some significant features, like it has heavy weight. And in my perspective, how can I tell the public the importance and the interesting part of architect? Okay, when we think about culture, the classical music, fictions, food, fashions, but in the case of architecture, okay, there's no Korean significant features. So I hope this presentation will help you think one more time. Thank you.
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Sarah Neville, and I'm an artist. I'm a choreographer. I work at the University of South Australia in their research lab called IVE. So that's immersive virtual environments. I'm also here as an artist from ANAT, that's the Australian Network of Art and Technology. So last night I had a great opportunity to perform or demonstrate our VR work called Glasshouse. And today I'm going to step you through, I guess, give you a little bit of an insight into what does it mean to be an artistic practitioner or an artist that is working in research. So how do artists drive research? I collaborate with scientists, technicians, technologists, a whole lot of different types of artists. But as an artist, we work in an artistic practice-led research environment. So I'm here to speak about this particular process and this project on also behalf of my collaborators, so Alex DeGaris, Sue Hawksley, Daish Mullaney, and Matthew Thomas. How do we start this type of process? We knew that we wanted to make a VR experience because as a choreographer, I was tired of creating work where people were on the stage and the audience was passive. How can we get the audience also to experience dance from the inside? So we can use VR technologies to practice an embodied knowledge or embodied knowing through moving. We ended up creating 3 interdependent worlds, a keeper world, an insect world, and a plant world. And we were investigating embodiment, co-presence, and digital kinship. The research question, the main research question, we started with how do we move in a post-COVID world? Do we need to make our own glass houses and simulate the weather, grow our own vegetables? How can we put everything together so that we can stay in one place? Or perhaps like insects, we want to be like tourists and as in groups move around together. Or perhaps like plants, we can shift like nomadic peoples or plants, and where the sun is, we go. Where the water is, we move to. How do we do this? So we start with experiential futures, which is a physical, in the studio type of process. We ask ourselves what-if questions, and we move together to design the scenario that ends up in the VR space by finding ways to interact with each other. And then that relationship is transferred into the digital or the virtual as we ask ourselves, how can the participant in the headset relate to an insect or a plant? From there, we work with the motion capture system. We take the movement of the dancers' bodies. They become either a plant or an insect or a glasshouse keeper. And then again, we transfer that data onto digital avatars or entities and start playing again around whether it works or not. How do we interact? How can myself facing an insect, why would I move? Is it friendly? Can I make a social relationship with it? Is it making me step back? Is it making me step forward? Do I feel like it's my friend? And we ask ourselves these types of questions. So we are using the technology, I guess, in like an ecology of practices. It is just one part of the whole interdisciplinary relationship. What we made was a 3-part VR. The keeper relationship is almost like a mentor or a teacher, like a workplace relationship, like, come here, copy me, I'll show you how to make the plant grow with some sun or squeeze a cloud and it rains. And most people were fairly happy to follow along with that type of guidance. It's like a guide from the inside. Then we made an insect world, and we thought, what if the participant is an insect with insect hands, insect antenna? How do insects communicate, and how can we make it fun? So we created an interactive environment where the antenna could touch. Your antenna as a participant could touch the insect's antenna, which of course can make the head move, which can make the body sway, and it was really quite satisfying to see how people could dance and find this kind of social relationship with the digital avatars as insects within the particular world. We also did some climbing, and then of course the music encouraged it to turn into a bit of a rave, which was really fun. The plant world, also the movement came from motion capture, and it's more of a sensory environment. So the plants started small, and you started small, and you could grow within the environment, and you felt the leaves, the petals, the other flowers blooming around you, and the communication was more through light and through sensing. And also we created an environment underneath the ground, and you could get in contact with the roots and stretch out, and I guess more of a feeling as part of the whole ecology. So each world was symbiotic with each other. How do we know this? How do we know that these relationships were happening and that people felt this way? We created a user study, which again, in working in a transdisciplinary environment, is perhaps a way that my friends from STEM would work, so scientists would work. It's a tester. It's a feasibility study. We're testing engagement. So we trialled it with some dance students, and then we opened it up to the general public as well. We collected qualitative and quantitative data and asked people if they empathised with the characters, if they moved, how did they move, why did they move. We had questions about body ownership. We asked, are you an insect? Are you a plant? As well as, did you move? Are you the keeper? And this is how we collected information about how people were engaging. I'm going to try this video. Oh, yes, good. Okay, so like science, we have findings. We prefer to perhaps call them insights. And we found that the participants did have an embodied response. I'm talking about the Oculus Quest, so it's untethered, people were moving around the space, we had a carpet so people could feel their way through the space as well, and of course we had guides that would help them steer them. Overall, we felt like people did have a strong sense of connection, curiosity, and empathy with all of the three worlds. You know, the plant world, some people loved it, some people didn't know what to do because it was very intuitive. People very much enjoyed the insect world, and with a headset on were less inhibited about their own movement, so they got into a bit of dancing. And with the keeper world, some people again are happy to follow and learn something, and others felt like, oh, I think I'll just prefer to watch. So you can see with this video, this is people trialling the application, and they're all moving and they're all moving in their own ways, but also that movement is specifically choreographed to the scenario. And I'll move forward. Oh, I'm actually going to move past because that's a little bit loud. Okay, I'm going to stop with the conclusion and the acknowledgement. So we did manage to extend digital performance and embodied VR. And we did manage to find a discussion, I guess, about what's post-human and relational and how that can drive creative research. So thank you.
에서부터 해서 설치 미술, 그리고 영상 설치, 애니메이션, 그리고 AI를 작업하고 그리고 기획도 하고 있는 한계부터
Okay. I'm the professor Woo Song-bang from the Department of Animation and Webtoon, Yewon Art University.
저는 조선대학교 미술대학 조석과를
Well, I majored in sculpture. It was 1988. My university was very close and traditional one. So when I entered the school, I had to deal with the proportion ratio of human body and how imply into my artwork. How can I precisely calculate its ratio, and how can I apply that into my artwork was my question. When I was senior, I tried to understand material language, and I've been interested in the essence of the material. And stone, wood, so many materials, and each essence are the good subject to think about. So now it's into the abstract form. In 1997, it was the chance to change my mindset. My experience in that was a turning point. I understood the sculpture. So from this moment on, sculpture was no longer a single object, but something that creates and defines spaces. What you see now is the multimedia project in 2000. So it's the jar, the glass jar. I try to make the built with X-ray instrument and use the sound. The bottle was used for the kimchi, the Korean market. So from the sculpture to installations, sculpture expand beyond a single object and become an art. As I graduated the art school, I tried to make another space from the original exhibitions. The stones you can see now are the waste of the architecture, the small piece of stones. I'm trying to make a new shape through this layer, and also trying to like the bubble wrap that used in Macy's department store. So it was the moment that I meet the art and transcend all materials limitation. When I studied in the States, my high school colleague called me for join project. His major in 3D design in Japan and then back to Korea to film movies. I thought it was a new chance to experience new types of art, so I accepted. And a new form of sensory sculpture emerged, incorporating time, movement, and sound. And this animation is the result. So my artwork and its appearance and in order tool to communicate each other. So I try to communicate from the past work and now present work. If sculpture holds a fixed emotion, animation carries a flowing emotion. Life emerges in the subtle tremble between the frames. While I'm doing all the project in series, in 2000, I learned many programs in KAIST. At the moment, I realized that it's too easy to make one art piece. That means it's quite accessible for anyone. Anyone can be a creator, and still the outcome is better than my own handcraft artwork. After some periods of rest, I back to the field again. So, and when I tried to the exhibition, okay, what can I do? What is the best thing I can do for this exhibition? And there was the concept about still life, nature, and my thoughts on the environment. The bee, I handmade it by myself, 600 or 700, and it still stands at the boundary between industry. Well, the area of space is turning into another form, like urban architecture expands into a new form, like media facade, and many Yeosu Expo, like Jeollanam-do province district office, and many other cases are about the media facade and gave me new insight and new experience. Is generated by AI. I made it. Efficiency about material and my desire to achieve the efficiency that urged me to turn my tool to artificial intelligence as soon as it launched. Recently, I visited Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, Biennale as the representative of Korea. A new area is defined by AI, and that led me to another world and gave me another expansion.
자체가
I believe the AI is one of the material,
공포감의 대상이 아니라 제로의 한
and for me, AI is not the object of fear. It's just one type of material for myself.
시간을 만들 수 있고
Using this, I can create something I want.
작품으로만 작품이 되는 게
Well,
아니라 내가
AI create its own image, but I can edit and reproduce it and enhance its quality, and I can give more feature
작품화하고 또 그것을
and make it an artwork as well.
우리에게 분명히 있어야 되잖아요.
And this is our chance to evolve. I want to take another step.
저는 작가로서의
As a creator, I have many experiences. I'm the head director of the Media Art Festival in Gwangyang University. I collaborate with artists and trying to get some artwork from the creators. And it gives me another shock. And as a creator, I never think that way, and that broaden my sight and my point of view, and also direct new way. Thank you.
I am working as senior researcher of Gàti언스. We have been working on the AI in the arts environment. I'm going to talk about the symbiotic AI and make a brief presentation. So let me introduce you the technology we developed in the past. The expansion model. This is technology developed several years ago before expansion technology was unveiled. Timone, which is the partner, is a light theater, which is the promotional video of that light theater. So we have developed the technology to use the art more efficiently. In order to fill the large space, you need a very large art piece. So we had a expansion generation, which is called outfitting. So you can see the resolution of the output. You use 9K, which is a high resolution technology, and existing expansion model cannot support this. So we can segment it and generate. But if you look within the existing window, you have the generated image like this, which is awkward. And you can see that the sky is open below the feet of the ladies. So we developed this technology. The picture is complex, not easy to understand. But so you can understand it that we generated the image well based on the existing images. And this is the latest technology we published last month. So the sky that's below the feet went up to the sky. So when we applied our technology and to the art piece, and you can see that it can be expanded like this. Not only the painting, photo can be applied with this technology, and we want to apply this technology much widely in the business sector, and we can use it for the advertisement banner. And the next technology is a fusion generation. When you have an existing artwork, and you can have the visitor's face fused, and you can make the painter as if draw the picture of you. When you have the boy's face, and there is no gender limitation, so you can make it freely. And another result, using the technology, you can take the photo and put that face on these paintings. And so we provide this technology through kiosk, and visitors can download the output through WhatsApp or KakaoTalk. What I'm going to talk now is the current technology we are working on, which is the arts creation map. So let me turn a step back. And 20 years ago, it's me. I was a single. So I made a cinema, a short movie, and get the ideas from the main audience and the viewers. So the audience are not just consumers, but get involved in art creation. ChatGPT and Ghibli Studio production, and the image is pretty, and I got the vivid expression of my daughter's face. So in one day, AI may replace the job of designers, and that's the fear. And Ethan Mollick said that provided 4 guiding principles for survival, and AI should grow, provided the concept of dual brain, that AI grows together with the humanity. So I think the co-development of AI and human being in artistic sector is like this. So when there is an artist, you work with the juniors, several juniors, but these juniors are replaced with AI. And what about these assistants? They lose jobs? I don't think so. They have masters, and they become their own master, and they get the assistance from AI. But the problem is that they are not capable as their original master. So they have to have a creator, major art, who can guide and making them and helping them and guiding them to create the artwork as good as the original masters. And through this opportunity, they were able to spread their work to wider audience. So we collect various artist data and we analyze, and we have the agent, and we can have the art guide program, and we are developing that this year. And Jeong-sung and Kim Hong-do, who are the famous painters in Joseon Dynasty, and we are collecting data of their lifetime, and we are creating AI agents based on these 2 painters. For the art creative map, when the student draws, and the artist AI say that you're good at this and you have to correct this. And for the vocal training, when students sing and the Josumi look like, AI makes a comment, and you have to sing like this in this section, and gives the demonstration herself. During Professor Lee Sung's presentation, it has been introduced. So there has been various collaboration stage with Josumi, singer-song Sumi, with AI. An avatar which reproduced the voice of Josumi, it sings. And that professor worked together with us and for this project. Lastly, future. I said that past, we use the existing technology artwork, and now we are working on currently on the technology that teaches the artistic work with AI. Now, next step or future is brain prompting. Generative AI, to be extremely put, it's like you throw the net and catch the fish in the ocean. Of course, it can catch fish, but there should be iteration or repetition. So the abstract imagination by human being and the feeling of that can be understood like the prompt and can be turned into artwork. And that's the direction we are heading for. So that's it for the presentation. So I have a little bit of time left. Let me introduce one thing before I go. AI evolutions ideas, my ideas on AI directions were in the art field was presented. Of course, there will be those who disagree with me. And you believe that I don't understand art that much because I'm a scientist. So we have the forum available. So in the room 204, so we have the event, big GArtience main event, finishing at 4:30. We have the forum held from 4:30. It's a small space, accommodating only 20 people, and snacks are available, so we can have a cozy talk. I will ask for your active involvement. Thank you for listening.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to meet you. I'm from the Manchester Metropolitan University. Professor Timothy Jung. Korean name is Hyung-soo Jung. Okay, I want my slide on the screen. Okay, today I want to talk about three technology XR. I believe many of you have experience of the Google. And I believe most of you use the ChatGPT once in a while, AI and blockchain, and how these three technology has changed our daily lives, and what if the synergy and amazing effect will result in the convergence of three technologies, and want to share some case in Europe how safely use these types of technology and the new direction for future. And first of all, I want to talk about the convergence part, and then AI and its regulation, and also talking about the virtual asset and some cases, and want to give more directions. And first of all, XR, it has the clear examples, the Google. With this technology, we can experience something that we cannot experience in real life, like space tour, like walking with dinosaur. These is types of give you an experience through the technology. AI is more like content creator. Blockchain is give the credential and ownership on virtual asset. What if these three technologies in a good convergence synergy? Identity and trust, monetization, data and privacy, governance, and all the parts can be affected. If you are in the virtual museum and you may find some curator created by AI and curated some artwork by your preferences, and I choose the who made this and can purchase and own. And these are the whole process when the convergence of three technologies happen. In the case of Europe, we want to define how ethically, how safely use these types of technology. So the regulation is on the same path. The risk tier classification is labeled some sort of the types of services and technology. One is about the prohibited. It's about the rank system or manipulating the vulnerable class. Or one good example in China. In Europe, is kind of private violation. And there's also high-risk sector. It use our biometric information. Well, for example, if you use this one in airport, it's okay, but other case, it's not okay. And there's one limited risk sectors that make sure that this one is made by AI or not, and label the content. And minimum risk can broadly used. And GDPR is one of the regulations refer that when a company or an institution obtain our personal or private information, they have to get consent from us. So what tools are used must be in a transparent system. And the accessibility of the information and deletion rights must be given to a person. Otherwise, the penalty is quite a huge amount of money. So they do not respond to the information leaking issues. They prevent the issues. XR, AI, blockchains are in the virtual spaces technology, and the convergence of this can help us while we design it ethically and safely. So we eliminate the discrimination factors like race, skin color, and other factors. And when there is an AI used, always people, human, have to check in person. And the whole thing has to be accessible for anyone. And labeling is one of the essential. So is this created by AI or not? So how many percentage was contributed should be labeled. And so also there is a trade by creator, buyer, and they have to be a clean and transparent transaction system and guarantee their ownership. And consistency and sustainability are also important. When we use these types of information or services, there are so many energies consumed. So we have to reduce the carbon consumption, and this is the directions we are heading to. So, and Ethereum is one of the main technology for now. I'm gonna tell you two examples. One is the VR art in Switzerland. This is a virtual museum, like the Louvre or Great Kingdoms Museum. And you can travel any museum, and as you enter the museum, you can meet AI curator and buy some art. Another example is the museum in Barcelona. This is one of the NFT-only museum. You can buy any artwork and you can identify the artist and also own the artwork. Okay, how can we achieve the implication for digital humanity through the convergence of this? I believe this can surge us to get the co-creation, co-designs, so give the maximum creativity. This is not just about the art and artistic exploration, but it's the way to benefit all human beings. If we use this ethically and transparently, and if we contribute these types of services, this is a good path and good journey toward the near future. So I believe everyone equally use this technology as well. Okay, today I mentioned XR, AI, and blockchain, and each own features are also good, but when we combine together, it will create enormous synergy and give people enormous experience and also support our economic system. And to use the framework in EU, AI, XR, blockchains can be used in safer way. When we use it properly, our humanity will expand and enhance. I'm spending 30 years of my life in Europe, and when I see the K content and its growth, the sustainable and transparency guidelines are quite in need, and synergy will be incredible. And the K culture and its potential also gave me an insight, and I think that the testbed should be founded for these types of synergy between Korea and Europe. To conclude, technology exists for human. Human should not chase the AI. So we use that technology with safety and also consider the sustainability. That's where we have to think together. And I believe the Daejeon City will be a pioneer of this convergence. And please plan and get on development in near future through this event. Thank you.